this term called as time management. Do you really think that we can manage time? Isn't that itself an oxymoron? What is this oxymoron? Opposite words together, like happily married, right? We can never ever manage time. Rather, put across properly, we can manage ourselves, right? So each one of us has the same 24 hours in hand. And how do we utilize it? How do we categorize it? How do we prioritize? How do we tend to procrastinate? It's all up to us, right? It's in our hands. Rather, I would say that we can do nothing about time, because time is something, a commodity. It's precious one, of course, and you have no control over it until unless you learn to manage self. So when you have to prioritize things, you got to make sure that all your to-do list is in place. Even after having a to-do list, have you ever wondered which one to do first, or what's your priority? How do you prioritize yourself, right? So it's always Stephen Covey's quadrants comes into rescue for us. The quadrants Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, were based on your urgency. You can always do work which is on the topmost priority. And yes, that's not the quadrant you have to have a long list to do. Rather, you need to always have another section where you're going to make sure that it's more towards your everyday learning, for your growth, future planning. It's how you want to take your life towards, where you have to spend more time, maximum time. It's important, but it's not urgent. Because in urgency, you end up doing just for the sake of it. As you had a deadline, you're under pressure, and your productivity may go on a toss, right? And the quality of the work. So whenever you perform something, I'm sure you want to give your 100% and give your best, right? So that's very important to make a note of it. Yeah. So with that, yes, there are. We have to even kind of spend some time for others. Others' priority may not be your priority, but yes, your family priority, your friends. So yeah, we can spend some quality time, or we can have a small section of time in a day even for that. And of course, what else? Time wasters. Yes, we all love that scrolling on the phone, yeah, or watching some Netflix series program. I understand that could be a time waster, but still sometimes a small part. It's just like the pickle in the food, right? So it's okay to have that too. So it's how you sectionize. How do you prioritize? It should not happen the other way around, right? The quadrant, the last section should not take over the entirety of yours. So it's up to you. How do you put across these things and manage self, not manage the time? I would say that. Yeah. And there are at times where people come up to me, even after doing all these things, we get stuck in the huge task. The task are overwhelming task, and the task which you tend to procrastinate. Why do we procrastinate actually? Have you ever thought about it? Just give a thought. The things we procrastinate are the things which we dislike the most, or we find it quite difficult. Out of all the tasks, one particular task we keep procrastinating every now and then, for whatever reasons, like we feel it's too difficult for us, we aren't able to solve, or it's a very huge task, it's a very challenging task. So what we can do is we can do a Pomodoro method for that matter. Take the task, work on it for a while, take a break and come back. There are people who stretch their hours and feel that okay, they are doing so much and the product level should be high. No, it happens the other way around. Rather, because when you stretch too much, the quality and the productivity level goes low. So it's always better, recommended to you are supposed to recommend it to take breaks in between after every hour, every 45 minutes for that matter. Take a 5 minutes break, go on a walk, come back to the place and start working on it. Your concentration levels will be better, you'll be able to focus better, right? Or even the most famous, eat the frog, right? The most difficult task, I always believe in that. The most difficult and the most, task which I dislike the most, I make sure I handle it at the first in the day, early in the morning for that matter. So you have your energy is on a high level, right? So early in the morning you will be in a position less, distractions, and your span of focus is also high. So yeah, I think there's a lot of requirement to strategize the thing, and how do you want to plan, how do you want to get through your work for the day. So hope this tips helps you. Think about it. Are you managing time, or are you ready to manage yourself? On this thought, let me say bye to you all for the day. Have a great day ahead, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.